What's going on, my UFC and boxing fans around the world? Check it out, my guys. It looks like Saturday we're locked in. All the Richardson Hitchins and George Kambosos Jr. weigh-in fighters all made weight. Then all the fighters for the UFC, Joaquin Buckley versus Kambosos Usman, UFC Fight Night in Atlanta, Georgia, they all made weight as well, my friends. And we're going to break them down right now. Guys, Richardson Hitchins versus George Kambosos Jr. I'm going to start out with saying shout out to George Kambosos Jr. Every single time the man is involved in a weigh-in, we get absolute fireworks, my friends. I mean, god damn. Those weigh-ins with Devin Haney were absolutely insane. His weigh-in with Lomachenko in a weigh-in where you think it's going to be respectful and you're not really expecting much. They had the damn 5-minute face-off, my friends. Now, George Kambosos comes into this weigh-in with his goddamn New York Yankee jersey on, saying, "This is my town. This is my town. You better back on that. What? This is my town, right? Like, this is my town, right?" Guys, great stuff from George Kambosos Jr. as he knows how to sell a fight, but he better be careful, man. I mean, dude, you got Richard Hitchins and Kambosos when they're facing off, looking like they want to crack each other. They're looking like they're both ready. You can see the ferociousness in George Kambosos Jr.'s eyes. Like I said, every single weigh-in, he gets like this. He gets excited. The fight tomorrow is going to be absolutely fireworks, my friends. Like I said, both fighters made weight, professionalism on the boxing card. And not just that, you also had Andy Cruz, who's going to be fighting on the card, who's chasing that Keyshawn Davis fight. You guys, he made weight. Before he gets into the scale, he does a little bailando, a little salsa dance. My boy, he's feeling it. He's feeling it. That's going to be absolutely amazing. You got a couple of Olympian guys who are making their debuts, who are absolutely amazing, my friends. You got Nishant Dev, who's probably the most famous, most skilled fighter from India coming into boxing, my friends, who's also going to be fighting on that card with Andy Cruz and guys like that. You also got Adam McCall, my friends, who's an absolutely outstanding European Olympian, my friends. He's making his debut, and I'm excited to see Adam McCall make his freaking debut, man. I mean, this guy has, when you've seen him in the amateurs, he has that style that is made for the pros, my friends. I think it's going to carry on to the pros absolutely amazingly, and I can't wait to see the debut of Adam McCall, my friends. Hey, boxing is going to be absolutely amazing tomorrow. It's taking place in New York City. It's going to be on The Zone pay-per-view on some other card, my guys. It's going to be great, great stuff. I know Teofimo Lopez is going to be there. I know Bill Haney are going to be there in the stands. It's going to be great fireworks, man. It's going to be something to watch. I can't wait for this, my people. And it's going to be a great matchup. You know, George Kambosos is trying to take, what's his name? Freaking Richardson Hitchins, IBF junior welterweight title, man. So, hey. And, you know, Richardson, being the dog that he is, claiming that he's coming over here to take boxing over, man. A lot on the line, my friends, in this Saturday's card. I can't wait for it. You know, this channel's rocking with Richardson Hitchins. We're going to go ahead and parlay that up, my friends. We're going to parlay that up with Joaquin Buckley, Richardson Hitchins, and Joaquin Buckley. Now, let's go over to the UFC weigh-ins. I want to talk about that. Starting off with Chris Matsuhinio. As you guys know, this is a man who's taken on Sugar Sean O'Malley in his first fight in the UFC years back. He got his absolute ass beat, my friends. I mean, he got beat down by Sugar Sean O'Malley. The ref had to stop it. He wasn't getting like a finished or nothing, but the dude was just taking too much of a beating for his own good, my friends. He ended up coming back in the UFC. After that, got knocked out, got released, but since then has been able to get a 4-fight win streak, you know, finishing guys outside in the regional circuit. And Dana White has decided to give him a second shot again on 11-day notice, kind of like that Sugar Sean O'Malley fight. So don't get me wrong. It does suck that he's not getting a full training camp every single time to be able to fight against these guys. But he's getting a second shot. He's going up against Cameron Wowmaker, my friends, who's coming off that knockout win over Cameron Simon in a battle of the prospects. Before that, a Dana White Contender Series winner where he got a bonus for $50,000. Guys, he's quit his job already, my friends. Cameron Wellmaker used to be a welder, just like me. I'm a blue-collar kid. I'm framing, I'm hanging, I'm taping. Cameron used to be a welder, making good money, and decided to quit his job after he got that bonus, my friends. He's knocked out Cameron Simon and made a lot of money and decided, you know what, we're taking this full time. Now, what is he, a minus 2,200 going into this fight. You have Chris Montaño, who's a plus 1,200, which is ridiculous for any type of odds. I kind of understand it, but goddamn, I kind of want to see Chris Montaño win this fight, dude. It would just be absolutely exciting to see this guy, reach the bottom and make his way and scratch his way back up to the top. That's going to be an exciting fight. Another thing from the weigh-ins, which is exciting, you had Rodolfo Bellato face off with Paul Craig. Both guys having their faces painted as the countries that they're from. Absolutely great stuff. It was intensity all over the place. Both guys had so much intensity to the point where Paul Craig almost kisses him. They're forehead to forehead, literally like this, pushing on each other. Absolutely great stuff, man. In UFC terms, I would say this weigh-in was actually a pretty successful, pretty exciting UFC weigh-ins. You got a lot of exciting fighters who are on this card. Philip Rowe, Ange Luce. You got Cody Garbrandt. You even got Thug Rose on this card. Vanessa Dinopoulos, as you guys seen too. You guys, it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal card, man. I think the prelims look almost more stacked than the main card does. Hey, guys, I can't wait for it. Let's talk about the main event. Joaquin Buckley and your boy Kamar Usman both made weight. Now, one thing that stood out to me at the weigh-ins is they're facing off. As you guys seen, Kamar Usman walked in with Francis Ngannou, who I'm pretty sure is going to be in this corner for tomorrow night's fights, which is absolutely ridiculous. You guys, if you don't know who Francis Ngannou is, he is considered and might be one of the greatest heavyweight UFC fighters that we have ever seen in our generation, my friends. Now, he's coming off a couple tragedies, my guys. I don't want to get into them, but it's good to see him in Kamar Usman's right there, right behind his side as Kamar Usman weighs in. All right, so you got the weigh-in. He comes in with his Nigerian painted face, and he faces off against Joaquin Buckley. The size difference, my people, that's what stood out to me too, man. As they faced off, I was like, God damn. Kamar Usman is a couple inches bigger than your boy Joaquin Buckley. That absolutely stood out. But I don't know if it's going to make a difference in this fight. You've seen Joaquin Buckley say that he thinks Kamar Usman is nervous, that he's seen him shaking, that he thinks that it's going to be his night tomorrow. Wow, man. Both fighters make weight. You got an absolute amazing fighter in Kamar Usman, who a lot of people consider one of the greatest UFC welterweight fighters of all time. 5 title defenses, 15-fight win streak. What is he? The highest takedown defensive percentage ever in UFC history. Coming off that Khamzat Chimaev fight in the middleweight division, where it was short notice, and in a whole entirely division higher than where your prime is at. You guys, I can't wait for UFC tomorrow and boxing Richard Hitchins and George Kambosos Jr. I want you guys in the comments to let me know your predictions for Joaquin Buckley and your boy Kamar Usman, who's trying to come back in here and trying to just let the whole welterweight world know who he is again. And let me know who you guys think is going to win between Richard Hitchins as George Kambosos Jr. take on each other for the IBF Junior Welterweight Champion bout of the world. As you guys know, we're parlaying Buckley with Hitchins. Let's go, baby. I'm out.